All right, so welcome. Tonight is our first journey into traveling in the spirit vision, exploring the Enochian Aethers. This is a practice. This is a practice that was created by the Golden Dawn from the materials created by, channeled actually by Dr. John Dee and the late 1500s, about 1585. John Dee was an amazing man. He was a Isaac Newton of his time. He studied all the different sciences of his day, spoke many languages, was a spy for Queen Elizabeth. And after his death, he was the inspiration for the Prospero in the Tempest, according to legend. I don't think anybody knows for sure. But he was an amazing person. And they discovered after his death in a locked the secret compartment of a chest, and also buried on one of his properties a lot of his notes. And he had been doing scrying with his partner. They worked as a pair in those days, where one person was sort of the MC of the ceremony and the other person was the scryer that was actually having the visions. And over a period of about 5 years, they channeled from the angels just an enormous quantity of information, multiple systems of magic, an entire alphabet, whole language, which we have about 250 like real legit words. The alphabet was channeled according to Dee's notes, since he was a scientist. He wrote everything down just in massive detail, that the letters appeared on the page in yellow, and he filled them in with his goose quill. And they actually have the papers, they actually have the document. And according to writers that I've read, there's no indication of the yellowness on the paper. They actually have the paper. So we have this enormous body of material that's honestly taken hundreds of years to figure out how to make it go. And we can thank the Golden Dawn for putting together the method of traveling on the Aethers. There's 30 altogether. And what Dee was trying to get at this time is he wanted a type of political magic. And so this is the beauty of being able to read this original source materials. You see the humanity in these people. The angels, the 4 archangels that delivered this system of magic of spiritual attainment to Enoch himself. It was written down in a book that Enoch passed off, but then the language, the knowledge was abused, so God hid the book, and only John Dee was worthy to receive this material. The whole time that the angels are trying to pump this amazing spiritual technology, through these people to manifest it in reality. John Dee and Kelly are asking about buried treasure because they need a horse to go to London. Really amazing stuff. So Dee wanted a type of political magic. He wanted to be able to predict how everything worked in the world. And the angels were like, okay, we can do that. First, we're going to have to show you how the angels see reality. So buckle in. This is going to take some time. So the angels gave to Dee and Kelly a system of these 91 parts of the earth and these governors. And each governor had a special sigil. And then they gave them several visions and a board with letters that are actually these that I have on my wall. Here's one for water. The colors were added later by the brilliant people, the Golden Dawn. And then they were told, take the sigils of the governors and place them on these boards so that they don't cross. As you can imagine, a shape or a little lightning bolt, little shapes, so that they would spell out a name. And they did that. And the sigils that the little squigglies that they were given in one setting, and the boards that were given in another fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. and gave them a map, basically, of reality, the way that the angels saw it. And on and on and on. More and more amazing stuff. So to put it to use, the brilliant minds in the Golden Dawn and Crowley took this material and came up with, systematized it, figured out how to make it go. In addition to all this material and more, the angels gave Dee and Kelly, they gave them a system of prayers, of Enochian calls that activated different sections of these boards, just like divine psychic circuitry, activate these circuits of consciousness, both within you and within reality, because really there's no difference. If you are a Hermetic scientist, you're a Hermetic believer, you follow Hermeticism, or if you follow the Tao or Tantra or many other spiritual practices, you know that above and below are connected. As above, so below, as within, so without. But there's really no difference. If you can imagine, imagine a box. What makes a box useful is it's empty inside, right? You can put stuff in it, right? So if you can imagine a box coming together, the inside and the outside arise at the same time, at the same moment. So when you think about it, things like the opposites of inside and outside, inside of me and outside in reality, they arise together. So they're part of the same thing. You can't separate. So they're not really opposites or different. So what's within you and what's without you, with the rest of the universe, are dependent on each other. And that's basically the essence of magic in most spiritual systems, I would think. So the way vision magic, the Enochian vision magic is practiced, is you travel up each Aether. You do a ritual, you create sacred space, and I'll go into that in a minute, and you pronounce the call of the Aethers, which is one call, it's the longest one, and you just replace the name of the Aether and of the governors that rule that Aether. So you have one call and you just replace the name. It's brilliant. I don't know if these were the people that first came up with this sort of object-oriented spiritual practices, but it works really, really well. And then you have a vision. You relax, you allow yourself to sort of go into a sort of a dreamy state and receive the vision of each Aether. And as you go, you travel each one. Eventually, you reach a level of the Aethers that you can't go any further. And that is the limit of your spiritual ability. And so what you do is, when you reach the limit, you look back at your notes from your previous visions, and within that, there'll be some kind of symbol of some kind of inkling of what you need to go further. And the idea is this. Imagine the creator at the beginning of time wants to experience all possible realities for achieve some kind of enlightenment. So the creator falls into a sleep and has a dream. And within that dream, it falls asleep again and has another dream, and so on 30 times till it dreams this. And so as a spiritual practice, we do this work and we wake up a little bit as we climb these levels of spiritual consciousness and get the visions from each of those. Now, going into TEX, which is the 30th Aether, you start at the bottom and work your way up, or on the outside, work your way within, depending on how you want to look at it. TEX is very close to waking consciousness, and you probably drift in and out of TEX occasionally throughout the day. So it's not going to be too dramatic, but it's been very interesting. I've had, well, which brings me to my other, the biggest problem I have. How much to say? How much to say about text? How much to say about the spirit vision? And normally when we do this work, I go into great detail to explain what the spirit's going to be like, what elements, what planet, and all that. But here, you're better off starting with no knowledge, so that you're not having a set of expectations as to what you're supposed to see, so that you can be fresh. I mean, there's plenty of good books written on it, and Crowley's Call of the Aethers is classic and really well written. I mean, it is like really fun to read, but I wouldn't read it until after I've done the work. Otherwise, you don't want to be influenced as to what to see, or to think that you're supposed to have a certain experience when really it's about you and looking within. So that being said, how do we get there? Lots of ways to approach this. Well, I consider Lon Milo's method, but that would be better if we were in person, because it involves us all chanting. It's a highly effective method. And when we get together, when our group gets together to do the work again, I want to use that. We can use that on the higher Aethers that are going to require a little more effort. Fortunately, Freda Bravas has gifted me with an embarrassment of wealth of amazing ritual techniques that we can use. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll do the temple opening, the Enochian Star Temple. Since we're doing Enochian work, it's perfect. And then from there, we'll open the gate to, well, we'll put on our rings in layman. If you have your ring in layman, you'll want to have them handy. If you don't, well, you don't have to have them. It's just cool to have them. Helps, but it's not required. Put on our rings in layman. We'll do that little brief ritual, and then I'll open the gateway to TEX. And within that, I'll do the call of the Aethers. We'll have a vision for about 10 minutes, and then we'll unwind everything and shut it down. And that's basically it. It's very simple. So the gate structure. Normally when we do this rituals, you see me pull these cards: the Tower, Hermit, and High Priestess. These three is your basic Western gate going within, going into the underworld. You've got the Guide, the Guardian, and the Ordeal, the three stages of the hero's journey. When the hero is going into the underworld, called to the adventure, you meet with the Guide, you meet Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan says, here's a lightsaber, I'm going to help you out. Meet the fierce Guardian, you gotta face the Empire, and the ordeal itself, driving down the trench. Can you trust the Force? Can you pull this off? Right? Hero's journey. We're not using them this time, but this is a great standard gate. Instead, we're going to use a strength card, Zadi, the star, and the chariot, which spells out TEX, TEX. And we, of course, we have a gate using 3 of the major arcana for each year. Unpublished inner order materials from Freda Bravas. Such amazing stuff. So this will be our gateway. Sacred space, put on our implements, gateway, then I'll read the call of the Aethers. That's it. And then at the end of that, we'll unwind, and I'll stop recording. We can share for a while any experiences that we may have had. Without further ado, let's get started. I'll start with the Enochian Star Temple. We'll proceed from there. I'm just going to cobble this across to get started too. Visualize yourself growing larger and larger till the earth is but a small ball beneath your feet. See above your head a brilliant white light, a ball of pure brilliance. Reach up, touch the light, bring it down to your forehead, and vibrate. Bring the light down through your body into the earth beneath your feet so you're standing in a column of light. And vibrate. Bring the light up to your left shoulder and visualize a blue ball of flame, the light of Hesed, of pure unselfish love. Vegadura. Light across to your right shoulder, a ball of red flame representing Gevura and the will. Gevura Leolam. Amen. Inheritor of a dying world, we call thee to living beauty. Wanderer in the wild darkness, we call thee to the gentle light. Long hast thou dwelt in darkness. Quit the night and seek the day. In ancient times, long before the rise of humanity's civilization, unity became duality, and war was waged throughout the inner planes between the forces of light and darkness. Thus, duality and its eternal conflict came into being. The forces of light and darkness each included 400 stellar beings called angels by the ancients. Separate from these beings, a third force existed. 400 angels who remembered the state of unity and who chose to transcend duality. They became the stellar guardians of the Grail, the keepers of the divine gnosis, that towards which we aspire. In the names of the stellar guardians of the Grail, I bless the water contained in this chalice. May it become sacred as the flowing waters of the infinite cosmic sea. I bless the salt upon this altar with the divine forces of the gnosis, which transcends all polarities. May it embody the strength of formation. Divine magic of Shinnok is the union of opposites. The mixing of the sacred salt and water is the first act of uniting the polarities. the creation of holy elixir, which shall consecrate the stellar temple. The aeons passed, and humanity proceeded to evolve. As we increased our capabilities, the conflicting forces of light and darkness utilized us as pawns in their struggle. The stellar guardians of the Grail, who wished to assist the process of human evolution, thus freeing us from ignorance, sent 200 of their number to Earth, bringing with them the fire of divine wisdom. The Nephilim descended upon the earth and taught humanity the sacred art of magic, the secrets of the stellar realms, and the blessings of the elements. Humanity was not prepared to receive the ancient stellar wisdom of the Nephilim. We abused the powers, using the most high magic for petty purposes and to gain control over others. Great magical battles were fought, and the contagion of evil covered the earth. The stellar lords, seeing humanity's folly, dispatched 4 mighty angels who sealed the Nephilim and their magical arts in the dimensions between worlds, where they silently await our coming. To once again acquire the ancient star lore of the Nephilim, we must prove ourselves worthy. Having done so, we will be given the keys to unlock the stellar gates and commune with the keepers of the divine wisdom. Oro ibai eozope exarte. I send you forth, O Raphael. Come to us, guardian of the eastern stellar gate. Grace us with your breath, which blows forth as the divine wind. Teach us your virtues, which are equanimity and balance, healing and compassion for others. Deem us worthy to receive the first key, so we may attain the secrets of the high star magic. O ipa eozope te a. Beitome. Appear before us, Lord Michael. We conjure you, O protector of humanity. You are as the lightning bolt which illuminates the dark void. You are the bringer of light, of fire. Teach us your virtues, which are openness to the divine wisdom and illumination. Purify us with your flames and grant that we are worthy to receive the second key, so we may unlock the stellar gates and pass into the realms of the Star Lords. Impehare Selgiayo Hekomaya. Come to us, Gabriel, Archangel of the Chalice and the Silver Crescent. Teach us your virtues of love, devotion, and selfless sacrifice. Aid us in our deepest meditations so we may become connected with the source of all consciousness. Help us attain the ecstatic states of being, which reveal to us the third key to the gates of stellar awareness. Mo'a di ale hetekega. Nalutea. I invoke you, Uriel, Archangel of the realms of earth. From you we learn the virtues of centeredness and inner contemplation. You teach us stillness so we can hear the silent voice of the inner self. Appear and aid us, O Uriel. Make manifest the fourth key, which shall allow us to enter the in-between spaces, the inner dimensions of our own being. Enubeha. By learning the virtues of the archangels of the tetramorph, we are given the keys to unfolding the self. It is the underlying unity of the four elements which bestows upon us the fifth key to the stellar reaches. When we unite the four elements within ourselves, we become truly human. And in becoming human, we can attain the stars. The expanse of stars reveals itself. We rush towards the stellar reaches. Come to us, star lords of the Nephilim. We call upon you, She'ezmaez and Azael. Lords of the Aralim, teach us your secrets. Reveal to us our inner selves. Help us attain the celestial spiritual heights. I invoke the powers of the first, which shall open the gates of darkness beyond the spirals of the Azanai. Unto me is the star child reborn and resurrected. Open the mysteries of creation as a flower. In the name of the unity of being, the power is in my heart, on my lips, in my eyes, and in my soul. O el vinu de lonusa de a el dastriani odo e ioni. Antar a kami salahote edea azonizoda. Odo sikale la anta lo selque. Pa imbete o el I noromi e o I dea ote agoholote a kahilante. Do a amaus de yadna. Ala nishi, ala do omononas. Ola do al balam. Ola do al wano anim. Ola do al temple has been opened. the etheric gate of TEX. Strength card to the southeast. The chariot to the west. Zadi to the northeast. Strength. The light of understanding and true knowledge of the soul shall be the tools and manifestation of the primal emanations. First, know thyself, then the truth according to your time, and finally, the means of transcendence. For spiritual knowledge is the gate of the greater mysteries, the channeling of avatarship. I open the gate between worlds. Tet, strength. The chariot. The purification, spiritualization of material existence is the task of the adept who seeks to grasp the absolute. The process of life can exalt or degrade the soul of humanity, and the one who is wise has chosen to seek life in its rarest incarnation. Seek always to arise and ascend from thy limitations, and therein you shall be tempered and proven true. I open the gate between worlds. The chariot. Dottie, the star. Ever desireless, one can see the mystery. Ever desiring, one can see the manifestation. The adept, filled with the knowledge of his or her soul, achieves the beatific vision through the reduction of the process of life to archetypal symbols, revealing the pure spirit. The heart is open, the soul emptied of irrelevance, and the mind is prepared for the revelation of the absolute. Thus begins the emanations, the source of all spirituality. I open the gates between worlds, Zadi. Ket, the knowledge of the soul is the key. Ket, the ordering and discipline of life. Zadi, the summoning of the spiritual light. TEX, TEX, the power of channeling the divine emanations represents the role of the Magus, who has entered the core dimensions of the Kabbalistic universe. I open the gates between worlds to TEX. Yes, O creator of all things, to have correct knowledge and understanding, for your wisdom is all we desire. Speak your word into our ear, O creator of all things, and set your wisdom in our hearts. Amen. Behold the ring. Oh, this is it, wherein all miracles and divine works and wonders were wrought by Solomon. This is it, which the archangel Michael has revealed unto us. This is it, which philosophy dreamt of. This is it, which the angels scarce know. This is it, and blessed be its name, yea, its name be blessed forever. Without this, we shall do nothing. Blessed be its name that encompasses all things. Wonders are in it, and its name is wonderful. Pele, its name works wonders from generation to generation. Amen. Behold the layman. As the holy table conciliates us to heaven and earth, let this layman, which I place over my heart, conciliate me to the holy table. Amen. The call of the Aether of TEX. Madraix, Desperias, TEX, que hice, Mecalos saanir ka osco, odo theises bazizras, iada, nanka cohulium, mica adolium, maade, iado, biliorb, saba o oa oana, que ise lucitifas peri pasab, de is abraeasa, nanseef, netaib, ko aske o tilb ada fealt, dam pelos to oea, nanseef, genin la zodoma, Dariad, to efelo, maab yare, edoigo, o turzuk, iadeef, gohol, koaska tabao, seanir, o koristos yepiro, tiobel, bustir tib no alean, piade, Oresha o dodoremi, Zilana, Elzak tilb, pargimi, perit sax, o ta kerlis, o apsis, limbam ocho simp, o Christos agato miren, que tiobel, Lil, ton, peombe de, dilzodmo, as pen od Christos a el tuton, perace sint codiz, dod pal, od fifales, ismade, odo farget, bombs, levi se moom, unchi, til orbs, bagale, mooea, od codiz, el campo, ex maxi, od cocaspe, gis eae, Bagelin nu tianta, ababelon, od faorgit, telo sivivion, madre exix, turzu, oadrix, orecha, ababri, tabar ori, prizaz atabas, adripan, korsta, dobix, yokam, pirazi, aro azio, od kaaspi, kweting, ripir, peaxot, sagakolor, vimel od pird zaf, kakasge eo de ai, korpent, torziv, zakar, od zamran, apist, sipisi, butumana, de isrzas, tia batan, odosikale la kwa'a, od ozameya, palapi, ida namad. Tal agala, jiminbe, advor, dozano. Ta'o agala, jinimbin, advor, dozano. Ta'o agala, jinimbin, advor, dozano. Alo, talo, gala, jinimbid, advor, dozano. Talo gala, jinimbid, advor, dozano. Talo agala, jinimbin, advor, dozano. Malkuth, Megdula, Megavura, Olam. Amen. I open the gate between worlds. I return to the world of Malkuth. Uriel, we thank you for your assistance and your grounding. Gabriel, we thank you for your sacrifice and inner visions. Mikael, we thank you for your protection and your illumination. Raphael, we thank you for your insight and clarity. May any merit generated by this ritual go to the immediate and speedy enlightenment of all sentient beings and the removal of illusion and lessening of suffering. The ritual is complete.